When you first start out in business, it's a whole time. You go through so much growth yourself that sometimes you might end up, especially when you join the Ready to Launch program, sometimes because we unpack this, you end up in a situation where you have a completely different business than what you thought you were going to have. I go through this exercise of identifying your business for this exactly what fits for you, because in order to capitalize your business, you need to fully understand what your intent is and really who you are in your strengths. And so we go through a series of, it's actually super cool. We have two tools we use. One, we put in all the information about you, and it kicks out all kinds of options, and it even grades it and says you'll be successful at it, like on a 1 to 10 scale of like 5. So, hey, let's not do that, right? But this one's a 9, or maybe it's a 10. Like, let's focus on that. And then it'll also tell you how to create those. But then there's another piece, right? That's just external, like what you're going to create, deliver, and do for your audience and the people you're serving. The other piece of that is understanding your own individual strengths. Some people, like you would think, since I previously was in the financial industry as an advisor, that I would be really great with finances. I think actually that gave me PTSD a bit and it freaks me out. And even though I understand it, I don't want to touch my finances. I outsource it, right? But then there's other areas that I'm really, really good at. I'm super organized. I see patterns and I can create around that. And it's a very logical, creative approach to our constructs of business and society. That is my strength. That's my core strength. Now, this other assessment goes through and identifies that. We go through, you fill it out, it's some questions, and then it comes back with these are your strengths in your business, like for your communication style, the opportunities you have that you would easily pour into. And then you go, do I like that? Don't I like that? Right? The pattern that this was created after I found out that what my strengths were, right? Everyone was always like, oh, you're a leader, oh, you're a creative, oh, you're the it was always everyone telling me what I was. And I was like listening, going, oh, okay, I guess that's what I am. But I would find like little pockets of joy in each of those things. But the reality is because am able to think a certain way, one of the things I really love doing is teaching and helping people to reach their desires and their dreams. And so when those align, that's what's created all my businesses based off of my core values and my strengths and my uniqueness. And that's what makes me authentic and unique. So we unpack that when we're designing your business to go, okay, where are those strengths? Like how do we capitalize on those? And putting those two together is how we know we're going to build a strong business for you. It might not be the business you thought you were going to do when you came into the program. That's why it's even great if you have no idea what you come in of like what it is you're doing, because it gives you like that framework, right? I've tried dozens of businesses because I didn't know what was the one I wanted to do. And some of them I closed right away. And some of them I did for years. And I was like, man, I hate this. And I was like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore. And so when we go through that's kind of the foundation of where we start, is with these mindsets and these paradigm shifts, and also really unpacking what is in your best interest for success and happiness so that you can have a bliss life. So when we are looking at being a solopreneur, right, an entrepreneur, we all start, I should say we all, but most of us start as a solopreneur, right? Even if you have a group of people you're starting with, one of you is the CEO, and that's who ends up being in Ready to Launch, right? And so when we're looking at that, this is for people starting businesses. And this is to identify those strengths and be able to build your strategies around them. And that way, again, you're in bliss. It was great.